And we're live.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. It's about 6:34 and we're going to get started. My name is Nick Kimball. I'm the city manager for the city of San Fernando. And I would like to welcome everyone watching and thank you for participating in tonight's public meeting to discuss the city's local transaction taxes, also known as Measure A and Measure SF. Tonight's presentation will be given by Sonia Garcia. She is our interim director of finance for the city, and she will go through the background of how we got to the situation that we needed to ask the voters for Measure A and Measure SF, and then go through our annual report that shows how the city has spent those funds over the last year in fiscal year 2020-2021. And then we'll give a little bit of an update on the city's current financial position and a sneak peek into what the fiscal year 2021 and 2022 Measure A and Measure SF funds will be used, are going to be used for. So we're ready to get this presentation started. Once Sonia is done with the presentation, we will be given the opportunity to address questions. If you're watching on Facebook Live, please feel free to type questions into the chat box, and we will address as many questions as possible over the next hour or so. So Sonia, please go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Kimball. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Sonia Garcia, and I am the Interim Director of Finance for the City of San Fernando. This evening's presentation will be on the City of San Fernando Measure A and Measure SF Local Transactions Tax. For Chapter 82, Article 5, Section 82-132 of the City Code requires an annual report on the collection, management, and expenditure of the Measure A and Measure SF funds prior to October 1st each year. With the passage of Measure SF, Measure A and Measure SF receipts will be combined and reported on jointly in this local transactions tax annual report. First, I would like to provide an understanding on how did the city get in this financial situation. As follows, here are the chain of events that created a perfect storm and caused a reduction in the general fund between fiscal year 2005-2006 and fiscal year 2013-2014. The city had an increase in operating expenditures due to the regional pool and Los Angeles Fire Department contract. Between 2007-2009, we also had a reduction in revenues due to the Great Recession. In addition, in 2012, the state of California eliminated the redevelopment agency. Due to these events, this equaled a general fund deficit. This next slide is a demonstration of the general fund balance declining. In June 2006, the general fund had a 7.1 million fund balance reserve. And by June 2014, the general fund balance fell into a deficit of 5.7 million. How did the city respond to the financial crisis? To address the city's general fund deficit and remain solvent, the city eliminated vacant positions, reduced employee benefits, implemented layoffs and furloughs, and reduced department budgets. We renegotiated the Los Angeles Fire Department contract and leased the regional pool operations to the LA County. The city also sold surplus property to pay off debt. And in fiscal year 2012-2013, the city declared a physical emergency and had a special election on June 4th, 2013 to vote on a temporary half-cent sales tax. Measure A was approved by 60% of the voters. In addition to the short-term actions, the city also took a number of long-term actions to improve financial stability. This included developing and implementing a deficit elimination plan to pay off debt, reduced ongoing expenditures, and increased ongoing revenues. In the 10 years following the Great Recession, the total number of employees was reduced by 20%. Police officers were reduced by 16%, and public work employees were reduced by 28%. On the other hand, the city population increased by 4.6%. This reduction in staffing levels had a negative impact on the level of service we were providing to the San Fernando community. How have the tax funds been managed? As responsible stewards of Measure A local transactions tax annual report is presented to City Council for public review. A local transactions tax, and the city also identifies the plan on how the local transactions tax revenue will be spent in the adopted budget book within the city manager's budget message. Lastly, the city contracts with the HDL company to monitor tax receipts to identify, correct, and recover allocation errors, and prepare the necessary case documents to submit to the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. This ensures that the city is maximizing collection and receipts are properly allocated to the city. The city's local transactions tax annual reports and quarterly newsletters providing sales and transactions tax information can be found on the city website at www.sfcity.org/financial documents under the financial documents section of the Finance Department. How much has been collected? Measure A transaction tax became effective in October of 2013, and Measure SF transactions tax became effective in April of 2021. Since then, the local transaction taxes generated $19.1 million in additional revenue. The city is projecting to raise close to $4 million annually. The graph below shows the historical local transaction tax receipts budget versus actual. In fiscal year 2021, actual tax receipts were at $3.3 million compared to the $2.2 million projected budget. Of this amount, $385,000 is attributed to the additional 0.25% authorized by Measure SF. The significant increase is due to the number of factors, one of them being the building and construction industry, which was essential through COVID-19 pandemic and was a primary driver of the city's financial resilience in 2021. In addition, low interest rates that resulted in increase in spending home improvements and strong vehicle sales. We also saw an increase of online sales. How have the tax funds been used? Since the passage of Measure A, the city has made the following debt reductions. The city reduced the general fund deficit by $5.7 million in fiscal year 2013-2014 to a projected fund balance reserve of approximately $6 million as of June 30th, 2021. The city has repaid more than $1.3 million in debt to outside agencies and $1.6 million in internal debt to other city funds. In addition, Measure A has partially funded capital projects and equipment, such as the infrastructure improvements and maintenance through the annual residential resurfacing program, beautified Brand Boulevard to create a notable interest into the city, reconstruction of the Glen Oaks Boulevard, made improvements to park facilities and tot lots, improved public safety reliability and response time by replacing 13 police vehicles, upgrading in-car computers and radio communication system, as well as we purchased new utility trucks and maintenance equipment for our Public Works Department. Since the passage of Measure A, the city has increased reserves. The general fund liquidity has increased from $280,000 on June 30th, 2013, which was barely enough to meet payroll or even pay our vendors, to $10.1 million on June 30th, 2021. The city has established more than $2.7 million in financial reserves. For self-insurance costs, $1.5 million. For vehicle replacements, $1.1 million. And facility improvements, $75,000. The city has increased efficiency and safety by replacing the city's outdated network equipment and install security software to protect customer information and increase efficiency. The city replaced police vehicle mobile computers and upgraded the citywide radio communication system. It reduced the general fund budgeted operating deficit. As mentioned, in fiscal year 2013-2014, the ongoing expenditures exceeded the ongoing revenues by 1.5 million. It eliminated the operating deficit in fiscal year 2019-2020. But then, due to COVID, an operating deficit was projected in fiscal year 2021. Measure A funds were shifted to cover the operating deficit rather than pay debt and build reserves. However, the resilient local economy exceeded projections with very minimal actual operating deficit. This next slide is an overview of the local transactions tax expenditures. Due to significant uncertainty surrounding the economic impact of restrictions imposed during the ongoing COVID-19 response effort, City Council adopted a bare bones budget for fiscal year 2021 that focused on maintaining existing services to the community. In consultation with HDL consultants, staff projected a decrease of 13.7% in local transactions tax revenue. This table demonstrates the planned budgeted expenditures for local transaction tax revenues, primarily for operating costs as part of the city's COVID-19 response effort. As mentioned, in fiscal year 2021, city deferred debt repayments, deferred establishing reserves, and no enhancements were included. However, many of the city revenues, including transaction taxes, outperformed budget projections. As mentioned before, this was due to the strength of the local building and construction industry, vehicle sales, and increase of online sales. Therefore, very little was needed for operating costs, and most of the local transactions revenues were applied to the city's general fund reserves to be appropriated by the City Council in future years. This next slide demonstrates how the general fund weathered the storm. And without the revenues generated by Measure A, the city would have struggled to stay out of bankruptcy. What is next? Since October 2013, local transactions tax revenues have been used to eliminate the general fund deficit, pay down external and internal debt, establish financial reserves, and made one-time investments in infrastructure, equipment, and technology improvements. As of June 30th, 2021, most of these goals have been met or exceeded. Since many of the original goals have been met, and with a strong financial reserve, along with the robust local transactions tax revenue, City Council will have the financial resources necessary to begin implementing the city's strategic goals for fiscal year 2022 through 2027, such as, first and foremost, focusing on community, support economic recovery, preserve beautiful homes and neighborhoods, strengthen climate resilience and environmental justice, enhance public transportation to move San Fernando forward, build resilient and reliable infrastructure, forge financial strength and stability, and responding to a pandemic such as COVID-19. And here's a sneak peek to fiscal year 21-22. This fiscal year adopted budget includes 4 police officer positions, a new city-run baseball program. We're bringing back the 4th of July fireworks celebration, recruiting for new positions. We're adding resources to strengthen the city's water system and added funding to slurry seal more residential streets. And we have much, much more in the works. I would like to end this presentation by saying Council has worked diligently to ensure that the City of San Fernando local transaction tax revenues are being collected, managed, and expended responsibly and in a manner that is consistent with the community's goals. With that, thank you all for joining us this evening. A copy of this presentation can be found on the city website at www.sfcity.org/documents under the financial documents section of the Finance Department. This ends this presentation, and at this time, I would like to open it up for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. And before we transition to questions, I did want to just make a few comments before we open up to questions. I think as Sonia has shown through these last few slides, the city has really turned a corner financially over the last 12 to 18 months. We're now very well positioned to transition away from focusing on just getting out of debt and establishing reserves and toward enhancing our investments in the community and starting to increase the level of service back to where we were, prior to the downturn in 2008 and beyond. So Sonia briefly referred to the city council strategic goals in some of the prior slides. I would encourage anyone watching, anyone at home, to visit the city's website, www.sfcity.org, to review strategic goals that were adopted. We have a strategic, there's a document on our website, and that really is going to serve as a roadmap over the next 5 years on the budget allocations and where the investments in the community will be. As Sonia had reviewed in the prior slide, you can see the various areas that council is interested in making investments over the next 5 years. And a lot of that is based on feedback that has been received, not only directly through our elected officials, but also through forums such as this town hall meeting, where we are able to get community feedback. So these are very important to voice where you would like to see the city go and where you would like to see your tax revenues allocated over the next 3 to 5 years. We already are starting to build some of those public safety, put some of those public safety positions back, and there's also a number of management positions that have been restored that we're looking to fill, to really focus on getting additional revenue into the city through economic development, through grants, and then invest in infrastructure, invest in a slurry seal program so that we can touch more streets than ever before, and really kind of enhance the service. And all of that is thanks to these Measure A and Measure SF local transaction tax funds. The city, if the voters hadn't approved those funds, and the city council hadn't shown great leadership on how to really pay down debt and be fiscally responsible, to very quickly get us out of the hole that we had found ourselves just about 5 or 6 years ago. And now we're in a great position to invest in the community and move forward, and really take us to that San Fernando 2.0 dream and vision. So with that, I'm not sure, Julie, are there any callers looking to make a live comment, or has anyone submitted any comments on Facebook?
We don't have any comments on Facebook currently. We do have one caller in the waiting room. I will admit them now. Caller with the phone number ending 6871, if you'd like to make your comments now, please.
I believe that caller is on mute and they may need to unmute themselves.
Caller with the phone number ending 6871. If you can make your comments now, please. I've asked them to unmute, but they may have stepped away. We do have a question on Facebook. When are utilities going to update and how they can pay? And she's saying we should be able to pay online or over the phone.
So that's one of the initiatives that we're actually going to be looking at this year, is enhancing our ability to take online payments. We have over the last few years, been able to take more online payments. We do take some certain permit payments online. We are able to take business license payments online and over the phone. Unfortunately, we are not at that capability yet, but we are looking at updating our utility billing software. That's one of the over the next year, 12 to 18 months, we're really looking at enhancing a lot of our software capabilities, including expanding our online payment capabilities. You can currently set up ACH, that there is no additional charge for ACH, which will basically auto debit every month your utility bill, so you don't have to think about that. You can contact our finance department. Sonia, maybe you can give the number to contact if someone does want to set up ACH for an auto debit. But that being said, you know, we are looking to update our software, our utility billing software in the near future so that we can take online payments.
Yes, and that number would be 818-898-1203.
Thank you, Julie. Do you see any other, at the moment, any other questions on Facebook Live?
We do not have any other comments currently. We do not have anyone else waiting in the waiting room.
Okay, so I will just give a few more minutes for someone to, if anyone that would like to submit a comment. We are, again, this presentation will be available, it is available on the city's website. I believe that's in the comment section of the Facebook Live. We also will be giving this presentation to City Council on Monday night, which is also broadcast through YouTube. So there will be an additional opportunity. And for anyone that may watch this, you know, this will be stored on Facebook Live. If you watch this, you're not watching it live, but you watch a recording of it. Please email any concerns or questions or additional comments you may have, but you weren't able to give them tonight to citymanager@sfcity.org. Again, that's citymanager@sfcity.org. That is a monitored email address, and we will, if there are any questions or any comments, we will get those questions and comments and be sure to take those under consideration, particularly when it comes to allocating some of these Measure A and Measure SF dollars in the future.
Nick, if I may, I need to correct that number. My apologies. I actually gave out your number. Sorry about that. But if you all need to reach Mr. Kimball, that number, that's his number. But the correct utility billing number is 818-898-1245.
We do have another comment on Facebook. The commenter is asking if there are any plans to beautify our city beyond Glen Oaks Boulevard.
Thank you. Actually, thank you for that question. We do have a beautification program ad hoc currently for the city council we're looking at different ways to establish an ongoing beautification program. We actually back in early, I believe it was late August, we had a community cleanup along the Mission City Trail that was very successful. About 40 volunteers came out and picked up trash and other and painted some of the signs. If you have been out around town, you'll probably see some of our signs in the downtown mall area, as well as along the Mission City Trail, have a fresh coat of paint. They look really great, and there was quite a bit of trash that was pulled out of the Mission City Trail. So we're looking at, potentially on a more regular basis, sponsoring community cleanups. We're also looking to work with any nonprofits that may want to work with the city to, on any of our locations in town, any parks, any areas that you would like to clean up. please again reach out to that city manager at sfcity.org email. We'd be happy to work with anyone on beautification efforts. And we are part of that enhancing services. We're able to add some additional maintenance helpers this year through the budget process. So as we hire those staff members, we will have more resources to just get out and pick up trash in the various areas of the city. Make sure that we can get to any landscaping issues, and get out to potholes and any maintenance issues that we have throughout the city. So I think another important email is if you have any of those service requests, if you see any potholes, graffiti, if you see any trees that need trimming or need to be reviewed, sidewalks that may be lifted, those can all be submitted to pwdispatch@sfcity.org. Again, it's pwdispatch@sfcity.org. We also have our community development director of public works, not community development. Matt Baumgartner is on with us. Matt, maybe you can also give the general line that people can call if there are any service requests or maintenance items that they'd like to report.
Sure. Yeah. In addition to the PW dispatch email, if you have any requests regarding anything you see around town, regarding trees, potholes, sidewalks, any concerns you have regarding our infrastructure, you can reach out to City Public Works staff at 818-898-1293, and you'll get a very helpful person on the other end who can put a work order together for you. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I do not see any additional comments on Facebook. Julie, did you see any additional comments?
No, I don't see any additional.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much to staff that joined us tonight. Sonia for giving a thorough presentation. Mr. Baumgartner for providing critical numbers for service requests. Again, my name is Nick Kimball. I'm the city manager, and I would like to invite anyone to email us at any of the emails that we gave out tonight. Call us for service requests. We'd like to hear your feedback on the budget process and allocation and where we might want to allocate funds in the near future. We're also working on a number of public outreach efforts, so follow us on social media. Follow the city on social media. You'll see a lot of opportunities for surveys on different issues. We want to hear from you, and we want to hear from the community. So we're really trying to bolster that community outreach effort, especially when it comes to funding that we're getting from the federal government for COVID relief. So we want to get feedback on the types of programs that you as the voters and residents would like to see in town. So again, thank you all for joining us tonight, and we look forward to having another one of these town hall meetings probably in February as we start the budget process for fiscal year 2022-2023. So thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to engaging you again.